So we're sitting with Jeff Sandstrom, who's the front of house engineer for Chris Tomlin and Israel Houghton. Jeff is also a Dove Award winning music producer. So we're just going to ask a few questions of Jeff, kind of find out what he does as he mixes, and try to give you the inside scoop on what the pros do. Okay, Jeff, so tell us about what you do and what's your favorite part of your job?
Well, on the current tour with Chris and Israel, I am responsible for obviously mixing the concert, but before that we get up every day and load in audio, video, and lighting. So we're flying a PA every day and working with stagehands, and we're typically in larger arenas, hockey arenas, 5 to 10,000 seat arenas. So we're hanging the PA, tuning the PA, setting the stage, setting microphones, pinning the stage, cabling, setting up monitor world. And on the crew, there are 3 dedicated audio guys. So we have a system tech, front of house engineer, and monitor engineer who are responsible for getting it all ready to go. And then during the concert, I'm obviously mixing front of house, and then the monitor guy is mixing monitors for the in-ears, and the system tech is kind of walking the room and making sure everything doesn't blow up and stays under control. So I would say the favorite part of what I get to do is actually during the concert, mixing the music. I think that's what everybody likes to do. So all the setup and all the kind of hassle of the day, it's worth it when you get to the concert and you actually get to experience the concert. I really believe that what Chris and Israel and other artists that I've worked with do is lead people in worship. I know that that's their mission, that's their calling, that's what God has gifted them to do. So it's important for the person who's sitting behind the console to be able to help communicate that to people. And so, I've been in concerts where people are, working on stage really hard to lead people, and something about the sound is distracting, or it detracts from what they're trying to communicate, and that's really a problem. Because from the mission side of what we do, especially as church sound guys and as people who are called, I believe, to help lead people in worship, it's really important to not let those things distract from the message and from the mission of what the worship leader's trying to do. So, I get to do it on a larger scale with somebody like Chris, who's written some of the greatest songs for the church today. But I think the way I approach things is equally applicable to the guy in the 100-person church trying to do the same thing with some of the same songs.
So tell us what got you interested in a professional career in audio.
Well, it's kind of an interesting story because I approach kind of the live sound and the technical part of what I do from the perspective of a musician. I was a trumpet major in college. I actually have a degree in trumpet performance, and my goal was to get out of school and be an orchestral musician. I was going to be in a symphony one day. And I got to about the end of my sophomore year, and friends of mine who were older than me, who could play circles around me, were getting out of school, not getting jobs. It's just way too competitive. And so I didn't want to just beat my head up against the wall for the rest of my life, not being able to do what I wanted to do. So I decided to find another area of interest in music where I could hopefully make a living, but still be involved in music. So I took a recording class and got interested in the production side of music. Kind of got bitten by the production bug, and over the next couple of years kind of pursued that, took some MIDI production classes, and kind of started to get my keyboard playing chops kind of up a little bit better. And when I got out of school, I still got my degree, still have a performance degree, but moved to Atlanta and started working for a production company, doing a lot of work in the studio.
So you were working in the studio. How did you get over to the live side?
Well, it all kind of happened through my church. I was attending North Point Community Church right when the church was just beginning. And a lot of the music for the children's department at North Point was produced at the studio where I was working and based out of. And so I got to know a couple of the staff people from the church and got involved with the children's ministry through that music production connection. And a lot of the special events and conferences that were happening at the time at North Point were kind of headed up by the staff person who was over the children and family ministry. And so I got to know him, and through our connection at the studio, I kind of got just drawn into mixing for some of these live events. And I didn't really have much background in live sound at all. It was, okay, let me just try to make this sound like it does in the studio. And so in terms of EQing drums and where a vocal should sit in the mix and, you know, all that stuff, I didn't really have the same kind of experience that a typical live, technically minded engineer would have. So honestly, I was just kind of winging it, and people liked it. So it just sort of grew from there, and that led to exposure to other artists, and you know, people would come and like what they heard, and I was asked to do bigger things, and it just sort of grew and grew. And you know, years later, here I am mixing for Chris Tomlin. So